To me, my mother was my role model. Whenever something bad happened, everyone in our village always came to her for help. Because they knew that no matter what the problem was, she'd always find a way to fix it. Knowing how much her people depended on her, my mother made sure that no one was left unheard. All the hard work she always did for everyone naturally made her the talk of the village. Ever since I was young, my grandmother would always say, "Learn from your mother, Matilda. Learn from the great queen, loved and trusted by all. Isabella Penthesilea." Clever, nice, and extremely beautiful. That's the kind of person I was proud to call my mother. She embodied perfection, so much so that I've never once seen her act weak. I don't even think I can imagine it. Even my two sisters, who were much older than me, agreed. Every day, I'd look at my busy mother and ask her, "Are you okay?" But she'd always smile and say, "I'm all right. Your mother's the queen, after all. If it's for our village, for our family, there's nothing I cannot do. Thank you for worrying about me, Matilda." After saying that, she softly pat my head. I still remember that moment like it was yesterday. My mother's hand, her voice, they all felt so much warmer than usual. When I was 8, a disease came and assaulted our village. Dendrification, a disease unheard of by all that turns the body into a tree. Once symptoms appear, the time it takes to completely turn varies from person to person. For some, it may take months for even an arm to turn, while others are a part of the forest in a matter of days. My mother and my symptoms were mild, but my grandmother and my sisters, their feet took root in the ground and have since lost the ability to move from that spot. In an attempt to save everyone, my mother searched high and low for a way to cure the disease. But no matter how hard she searched, she never found a cure. I can say this now, but it's no surprise she couldn't find one. After all, dendrification is not a disease. Dendrification is a curse brought about by a goddess, a witch who's gone insane. The first one to propose that idea was my grandmother. Within the forest we call our home lives a goddess, and she is the reason our forest is so abundant with life. In the past, many people from our village were able to see the goddess, but they slowly lost that ability through the generations. Now, only the Penthesileas, who carry royal blood, are able to see her. If that were true, then the only ones now who could find the goddess and bring her back to her senses were my mother or me. Without hesitating, my mother stepped forward, saying, "I will carry out my duty as queen." Upon hearing those words, everyone's faces softened with relief. Everyone except me and my grandmother, who had the ability to see into the future. On the day she was to leave the village, my mother gave me a collar. "If anything happens to me, take care of everyone, okay?" The collar was a precious heirloom passed down from queen to queen through the generations. Receiving this from my mother meant that rather than one of my sisters, who were paralyzed from the curse, I had been selected to succeed the throne. You are a loving girl who always looks out for others. That's why I know you'll make a wonderful queen. But that does not mean you have to do everything by yourself, Matilda. You are still young. Depend on those around you, your two sisters, your grandmother, your personal guard Hilda. They all would gladly lend you their help. Goodbye, Matilda. I love you. With those words, my mother left the village. Her destination, the goddess's temple. My mother was found a few days later, completely turned into a tree. She stood on the summit of the mountain that overlooked our village, beautiful flowers blossoming from her branches. Smiles immediately vanished from everyone's faces, and the village lost the life it once had. Seeing this, I knew I just couldn't let things go on as they were. Now's not the time to be moping around. These tears won't get me anywhere. I'm queen now. With Mother gone, I need to protect our village, our family. My mind was swimming with worry, and I was so scared, my legs wouldn't stop shaking. But even so, I still managed to raise my voice. I am Matilda, Matilda Penthesilea, Queen Isabella's rightful successor. Now that my mother's soul has returned to Heaven's ocean, I will inherit her dying wish, and I will break the witch's curse. That was my resolve as queen. Not a single person believed I'd accomplish anything. All they wanted from me was to leave my sisters to die, and to banish my grandmother from the forest. My personal guard Hilda didn't believe in me either. All she ever did was worry about me. But even so, I refused to give up. I couldn't give up. My mother, the person I had always admired, entrusted her dying wish to me. I pushed through the fear and anxiety, and searched desperately for someone who could lend me their strength. Half a year passed. I received help from a human who had fallen down from Heaven's ocean. Thanks to the strange power they possessed, we defeated the witch. The curse of dendrification was broken. Those who had been affected by the curse, like me with my feet, didn't turn back to normal. But at the very least, we don't need to live in fear of the curse anymore. It may take a while, but I'm sure that with time, people will be able to smile and live in peace once more. The days that my mother fought so hard to protect will surely return. That's why, please watch over us, dear mother. Your village, your dear family, all have bright futures ahead of them.